Okay, hi Jeremy from Consciousness Awake.
Hey there, Sonia. Nice to see you.
You do.
Yeah. Again, thank you so much for doing what you do with your channel. You're really truly here on a mission, and as we were talking earlier, you've kind of signed up yourself for um,
Yeah.
for helping all of these individual units of consciousness everywhere, to expand their awareness and their consciousness for themselves. But yeah, you mentioned you wanted to talk about in that video where you mentioned my channel. You said you wanted to talk about astral travel.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yep.
A lot of people had heard me talk about the astral travel and your channel, and I had a lot of people asking me about how do we do the astral travel. I want to meet people out in the astral.
Yeah. Well, it's actually, the funny thing, the most hilarious thing about that question is that it's so much easier and possible to do. I mean, it's more easier than people think. People think that it's something that they can't attain or that has some huge degree of difficulty. But in retrospect, we are all naturally astrally projecting all the time because our consciousness is currently in this human body and it's astrally projecting into this form. So if anybody believes that we have a soul, me and you, we know we've experienced our soul, our consciousness, our spirit body. We know it's there. That's part of the spiritual awakening process, right? Like when
Yeah.
you go through that particular experience and when you have that self-confirmational experience with your own self, that's
Oh
when
yeah.
you're like, whoa, like there is this whole other all this other territory and things to explore and information that we're not being taught, going through the programming and conditions of this reality construct that we're currently in. But back to the projection of consciousness. So it's like um, we're already doing that. So that's why it's really easy for people to do astral projection, especially while the human body is asleep. But people are just not remembering their experiences. I think like when I go out of body, ever since I was a kid, one of the first things I noticed while going through my house and going through by my brother's bedroom and seeing my brother, his I could see how his human body is asleep in bed, but I can also see his energy body, what I call um, the the etheric body, and
Mhm.
it's just floating there, like in a fetal position, kind of like about 5 feet or 10 feet above his human body, and so um, at that time I realized, okay, so it's like we have these other bodies in these different densities and these different dimensions, and it's like they're already attached to us. We're
Mhm.
already connected to all of this. And so when people talk about being like multi-dimensional by nature or by essence or any of those types of things, I mean, in my opinion or my own perspective, it's not that the human body is multidimensional. It's what it means is that we have all these layers and bodies already associated with us in these different densities. I mean, I've been personally in several different bodies. Just from I mean, I started like observing stuff. I started to collect data and information. So I once I started getting out of body enough, and learned how to really get away from the human body enough, like 20 feet away, 50 feet away, or get out of the structure or house, that your human body's sleeping in, etc. Once I can get away further and further away, then I had a lot more control. My consciousness can control and function and maneuver these other bodies much more easily. And so once I got to that point, I was like assessing my bodies, you
So
know.
you were very much lucid.
Oh yes, yeah. So basically, to me, when somebody is fully aware during an astral projection experience, their awareness levels are high enough, and like you said, you're lucid enough in your consciousness. When you go out of body, you feel what your consciousness is. You feel how it shifts and goes out and then enters something else, another vessel, right? And so what you first find out as a person finds out that while you're in your human body, all of these thoughts and emotions and fears and everything everything you have while you're awake in your human body, what you feel right now, all of that shifts and goes into this other body. And so if you are fully aware during astral projection, the way your mind works is exactly the way it works while you're just awake in your human body. So it's very lucid. It's very, it's there's nothing more real than it. It's crazy. But yeah. So there's all these different bodies, right? And there's some conflict. There's a lot of other channels, a lot of other spiritual YouTubers and whatnot. Everyone kind of has different perspectives about what this astral body is or how many bodies there are. There's still a lot of question marks. There's a lot of confusion. So again, all I could do is, like I told you before, is just kind of go by my own experiences, and go by that first and assess my own experiences, and then try to figure out, right, how to explain, how to express all of this information, so that people can grasp it or, understand it, but, and then you have like remote viewing, like you were talking about, how you, which is still like a form of astral projection, where you're projecting your consciousness, and you're just
everywhere.
Yeah, you're looking into. I can
even split that into even multiple sections. So I can be in 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 places at once.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I can't do that. I've had spontaneous or accidental remote viewing where I knew I was, just like you're kind of like going into the space and you can see everything and you can hear everything, you can see everything. But then when you look down to look for your, astral body or etheric body or any body, you don't see a body. So that happened to me one time where I thought I was in my etheric body, looking at my mom and dad sitting on the couch talking and stuff, and they're kind of like it's almost like they were having a little fight or something, like they were kind of loud and crazy vibrations, but then I was like, oh, I'm in my etheric body, but I look down and there's nothing there. It's just a visual.
Yes.
So that's when I was like, oh, so this is what remote viewing feels like.
You are nothing but thought, and all you're doing is moving your perception.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. You're moving.
Some people are especially skilled and talented with the remote viewing. And as like in the military, Army, CIA, these different agencies, they got into lots of testing with remote viewing back in the, I'm sure they started doing that way back,
Oh, yeah. Actually, remote viewing has been around as long as we have.
Yes, it has been.
Just been done in the last century or 2 centuries. No, this is something that we used to be able to do, but we were genetically modified to not be able to do it anymore. This is something that was a natural gift that these bodies had. We have lost a lot of it.
Yes, just like the concept of astral projection, where people are even still naturally projecting while they're sleeping, but they don't remember anything because, like you said, we've been altered, we've been modified, we've been through food, through shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that okay to say shots? Okay.
I can say shots.
But and also just the schooling system, the programming in general, again, because consciousness is a creator being. And so the power construct of this reality matrix we're in, they know all of the things that we're discussing. They understand consciousness. They understand how we are all, that we have the innate ability to manifest and create through consciousness. But if a person doesn't know the full potential of their own power, and they're kept in the dark from the true ability that they have, then how would they ever know?
That's
How would
right.
ever?
I always say it's like a bicycle. How are you going to know you can ride a bike if you don't even know what a bike is?
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, exactly. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
really really crazy. It's been difficult. When you have these crazy spiritual awakenings, and you start realizing the true nature of the larger reality system that we're in, not just this earth reality we're in.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work to keep your life in check and keep it balanced. And
Oh,
because,
yeah.
you have to, so you have this one end of it that you're aware of, but at the same time, you have to participate and, do all the normal stuff. That's part of this
Well,
reality matrix.
in this reality, they're always trying to draw you in. And what are they always saying? Get your heads out of the clouds, plant your feet firmly, get grounded, because they
Yeah.
want you to only be here when in
Yes,
reality we exist in multiple layers.
that's
But if they
correct.
wanted to squash you down further, they're going to take your means away from you to do it. And then they're going to shame you if you do it. You're
Yes,
frivolous. You're
exactly.
exaggerating. You're doing this and you're doing that. And then put connotations on it that whatever you're doing, and if it's not their agenda, well, then you're insane.
Yes, I know. I believe me. I totally agree with you. It was especially when I was younger, when I didn't understand, when I didn't 100% understand what was going on with me. I would talk to people about my experiences, and they wouldn't understand,
No.
but once I got older, once I got to about 18 years old, 19, and I was old enough to go to the library and, look for certain information, books. And back then, at that time, there was no YouTube, there was none of this stuff. So
Such thing.
so you gotta get some actual books in your hand and like start
Yeah.
reading stuff. And then once I started reading, I was just getting information from authors who've also had their own experiences.
I would
Um,
have a question. When you're holding a book, do you get what I get when I hold a physical object that somebody put their intention in? I don't care if it's been photocopied a million times. It's like I'm back where they are in their thought, experiencing more than the words say.
Correct. Yes, exactly. Very good point, actually, Sonia, because energy works in a lot of amazing ways. And sometimes, yes, we feel the energies of other individuals or other non-physical beings,
Mhm.
entities that are not in their human form currently. We feel all these different energies. We
Mhm.
also feel the energies of the planet, right? Of nature, trees. Believe me, when I go for hikes and I'm going up by the lake here where I'm in Oregon, and those trees are near me, wow, they literally cleanse my auric field. Like,
Oh,
it's
oh
a
yeah.
really amazing experience. So books, real books, again, technology, these video, these cameras,
Mhm.
um, they also are projecting energy through
Mhm.
that, and other people feel it. And then a book, I mean, that's even probably even better than technology. You're gonna feel the essence of the soul of that person
Mhm.
in that book. And yeah, so when I found some of the books to help me understand what I was going through, wow, I really connected to them, and they really helped me so much. And then it helped me put the pieces together, because when you
I,
go and it's a
I'm going to
puzzle.
say something real quick. I'm just going to add it in here.
Yeah.
I've noticed that trees are a form of energy. And when
Mm,
you have a book that's made out of a tree
mm,
and you had a person who put energy into a page initially,
yeah,
you got a double energy going.
compounding.
And that's what we're actually tapping into.
Yeah, yeah. It's
I
it's
mean,
it's
it's just, I just love the smell of books. I love the
mm,
feel of books. I love the touching the book because it just, it's like it almost downloads into you, at
Hmm.
least for me.
Yeah. You're energy, more energy sensitive. If you don't mind me saying those words like because I'm energy sensitive. I
Yeah.
mean, I have to be so careful. I mean, if I'm even sitting on a plane and I'm next to somebody who's within a couple feet of me,
Wow.
and if they're just pumping out negative energy,
Oh boy.
I have to like I have to
Shield
turn
up.
on my
Shield up.
shield. My shields are up, you know,
Yeah,
because
I
I
have to shield
feel.
up. When I go out into public, I have to visualize a bubbling shield around me, and I have to layer it up that your energies do not penetrate my energies.
Yes,
Because
yes.
I can tell you, you can walk into a room and you can just, you'll know what everybody's energy is going to be. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. It's like taking a bucket of white paint and now dropping in colors, and it's muddying up my paint. And unless
That's
y'all make yourselves happy, don't bother me.
I know. So you understand, you get it, and it sounds like you've been going through this since you were a teenager.
No,
Since you're
I was born this way. So
okay.
I had to deal with this. I remember starting to deal with this at 6 months old.
Wow, that's
Like,
unbelievable.
why?
That's and also to be consciously aware of it, to remember that too from a young age. That's
I can remember being 6 months. That's
yeah.
how my memory is. It's like, well, okay.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you saw the video where I talk about walk-ins, but yeah,
I
I
know.
mean, I don't have any recollection or memory of this human body until I was 4 years old,
Oh, wow. Are you
and
a walk-in?
the only thing I remember is actually leaving this like futuristic uh, society, futuristic city. I mean, if I was to put like a year on it,
Mhm.
like it'd be like the year 3000 or something, I don't know, but it was very, very like in the future.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a person that walked into the room I was in, and they said it was time to go. And I remember leaving that place and going to this place that looked like kind of like a subway station or like a train station, and there was golden light, a lot of white, bright light, a lot of golden light all over this train station, all around me, and me going into this like tunnel, and then going down the tunnel, and then all of a sudden, I'm uh, I'm like literally flying around in Los Angeles, downtown LA.
Wow.
I can see the buildings and the skyscrapers, and I'm all in that metropolitan area, and floating over about 20 miles southwest away from that area and
Wow.
by this refinery. There's this oil refinery by the coast, by the harbor there, where Long Beach is, and San Pedro, and just hanging out for, I think, for like a few days in the
Wow.
etheric plane, the etheric plane, which kind of overlays this 3D
Mhm.
physical plane, and just doing my thing, messing around, exploring. And then I remember going to my parents' house, and then just kind of like there was kind of a void, like kind of like it's almost like I blacked out for like a little bit, and then just being in my 4-year-old body and looking out through this slider glass door up at the
Wow.
sky,
Wow.
and seeing the stars through the human eye, through my human body, and it
Hmm.
looking and the first thing I noticed was like, it looks a little different, this looks
Yeah.
different. And then I remember going up to my parents and saying, "Hey, what's that? And what's that?" And being very, questioning everything. It was really interesting. But
Mhm.
yeah, but I mean, but still, I find that, and it's like, and those memories, like I relive them, like here and there, and then sometimes I just kind of like forget about it, and
Mhm.
and it's not even on your mind, and then sometimes it
Mhm.
just comes back, and you're like, wow, like this
Yeah,
is crazy.
when I sit and I'm quiet and I don't have any distractions, I don't have my phone, I don't have people coming
Mhm.
over, that's when I can just start to reflect on this reality, and a lot of stuff will start coming back to me. I do know that there are times when I'm sleeping and I leave this physical shell and I go up to a certain, I would call it height, but it's not really, it's something else. And all of a sudden, all of this information comes into me and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And I know all of this and I'm like, oh, it's so simple. I know all this and I'm going to remember it. And as soon as I come back in, it's gone. There are
Oh,
filters on this body that
yeah.
when we come back in, we can't bring that knowledge with us because these
Mm.
little shells can't hold all that knowledge.
Yeah,
It's
it depends on the it depends on what all information is. There's different situations and stuff,
I
Um,
actually have like when I go out of this and all of a sudden because I'm completely lucid and I'm out there and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to do this, this, and this, and this is the answer to this, and I need to create this and do this and fix this. And I need to, and it's no problem. It's not even a thought. It's so easy. And then when I wake up in this body, it's already going. It's like, no, I need that.
well, that's kind of like how for a lot of people how dreams are sometimes, where like the dream is there, for a few seconds and then it just kind of evaporates, it goes away, it just it depends on the situations. I mean, I've been in a lot of situations personally very similar where I know I was out of body, like I know I was. But for whatever reason, just the downloading process of all of the things that you experienced in the non-physical, for whatever reason, sometimes it doesn't download properly and gets
Yeah.
stored into the physical mind, I guess physical mind, right? Or the brain, whatever you want to call it, right? Because for your consciousness to be awake in your human body, when you're awake, like during the day or whatnot, that information has to be stored in that brain so that your consciousness can access it. Now,
Yeah.
I also believe, though, that there's a separate mind that our soul, our consciousness, has its like own memory system, or its own mind,
Okay.
its own
Mm-hmm.
storage of memories. So I
Mm-hmm.
think what it is like you have all these memories in the spirit, in the soul mind, and it's just a matter of getting all of that downloaded into the physical mind.
Yeah.
So you
And
can
that's not so
access the
easy.
data. And for me, yeah, it's
Technical.
like that happens. It happens a lot,
Yeah.
But then there's
I've
times
had a
where,
lot of technical stuff that I know out there, and it's
yeah,
like I need to bring this information
yeah,
in here so
yeah,
it can be implemented.
yes,
Because there's
correct.
a lot of stuff now that we need to have that I know I have access to, especially for the defense against AI attacks upon the human being that
Yes,
I need to have, and I've really been working on trying to get it here and get it locked in so I can then do it.
yes, yes. Yeah, well, you're doing it. It's just for me, like we were talking about being the embodiment of what we're doing with the channel. So like now, I'm like really strict with my daily meditation. You know, very strict. I like meditating early in the morning when
Wow.
things are quieter. Less distractions, right? It's
Mhm.
easier than like right now. There's a house next door. They're replacing the roof,
Oh boy.
so they're they're pounding and banging, and it's like okay, and sometimes you can put headphones on and listen to like binaural beats, right, or something, and that helps too sometimes. But I prefer when I meditate to go out of body. I don't want to have to need anything, you know,
Right,
except for just myself, you
right.
know.
Because you
And
don't want to be dependent upon another mechanism to get you where
correct.
you need to go.
No, supplements,
Yeah.
pills, music, auditory stuff, or whatever the
You know,
case may
Jeremy,
be.
I don't meditate. I never learned how. And then it's like with all the stuff that I do, it's like I have no meditation in there. It's like zero meditation. You want to do something? Okay, I'm there now.
Mhm. Well, you're in tune. You're just you are you're what your third eye is pried open,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Sounds like it's been pried open for a while.
Yeah,
It was probably pried open before you even got into this body.
probably.
I mean, who knows, right? But yeah, it's I mean, I think we're lucky that we're even able to even talk about what we already talk about on our channels. You know, I think it's amazing that there's still the ability now, and I do commend you on branching out to these other vlogging platforms like Odyssey and stuff. And
Yeah.
and thank you for doing that, because when you started to do that recently here, I was like, whoa, like I need to start thinking about this
Yes, you
too,
do.
you know.
Yes, you
And
do.
so but that way, if I can upload certain videos that I wouldn't
Mhm.
upload on YouTube and put them on any of these other platforms, but then I can really express myself even more.
Yes.
Uh,
Won't be censored. The censorship won't happen on the Odyssey. I've had quite a few of my videos taken down, and
yeah,
it's like, okay, well, those videos were valuable. That's why they got taken down. So now I'm
I
going
know.
to have to go onto my flash drive and upload them because I haven't done it yet,
Mm,
and put them onto the Odyssey. But now when I do the Odyssey, anything I do on YouTube automatically gets put onto Odyssey. So, but I need to go back and get the ones they got rid of, and it's quite a few.
yes. I know. I can't wait to see those too, by the way. I think I did see, I mean, maybe I saw some of them, like, before they were taken down. But
Yeah.
if there were any that that I missed for whatever
Yeah.
reason, definitely have to go on there and check that out. I don't think I think I went on Odyssey, and I think I clicked follow on for you. I'm not sure. I think I did. I'll have to double check that.
I need to tell all the people that are on my channel, please start using Odyssey, because
Yeah,
I'm going to just start making little videos to get you over there so I can be uncensored, and I'll tell
yeah,
you everything
it's
that
beautiful.
will get my channel dismissed,
Yeah,
because I need to be able to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
yeah.
I
That is,
can't be censored, because if I'm censored, I'm not telling the whole story, and I need to tell the whole thing
yeah.
in its entirety.
That's correct. Yeah, you just can't. Yeah, it's not fair. It's not
Yeah.
fair to the people who need the information.
Yeah.
They need access to it. So I'm sure most people, I think majority of people, will absolutely, get on Odyssey too and do all of those things. And I think it's natural progression too, because I mean, YouTube has been so big and huge for so many years. But naturally there's going to be other vlogging platforms that start really taking off,
Yeah.
especially now, and there's a lot of people, like there's people on my channel who email me and say, we know you have other information, Jeremy, but you're holding, like, you're kind of holding back,
I don't want to be losing my channel
yeah, I
because
want to be
so
careful,
have been censored.
I want to be careful, and but no, but I'm excited. I'm really excited about, making different type of videos, but
Hmm.
putting him on Odyssey or any of these other ones, So I think that'll be smart, a very smart move for both of us.
Oh yeah.
Um, and
Well,
because that
because
would
I
be
know my time. If
horrible if
I
we
have to be
lost
so
you.
careful with what I say, because I'm just talking, knowing what I say and getting it out there, and I don't really go back and monitor anything I say. It's just, it is what it is. I always do them in one take, and
Yeah,
whatever it is, whatever comes out, because I'm also getting these downloads while I'm
yeah,
talking. Some people said, well, how do you do a video and you say all of this in such a smaller thing? I said, because I'm getting the download while I'm talking. And
yeah,
all I'm doing is it's going, coming here and going there.
yeah. That's exactly what I'm trying to do better at. Like, for me, like I'm trying to just get in that right mind space to where, and I do my videos, raw, unedited, all that kind of stuff. I don't
Uh-huh.
have time to edit stuff.
Yeah.
And I like that. I think people like unedited stuff,
Yeah.
um, but um, but yeah, it's I need to I think as I meditate more and center myself more, and as I grow with my own channel in the future here, I think that hopefully I can get to that point that what you're doing. I think that's what I want, because I want that energy in that moment, and that
Mm-hmm.
information to come out, like that. And so, and that's one reason why I'm attracted to your channel and you as a person, as a spirit being and everything else, is because I also learn from other people, There's always something to learn. And
Yeah.
and I learn energetically. And so it's almost like I get mental images and thoughts, but just by talking or being around somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
I do the same thing. I'm constantly learning. When I watch other channels, I watch Martin Lika, and
mhm,
I watch Campbell on autodidactic, and there's a couple other ones that get thrown at me, and I'll watch them. I don't know everything either. I have to
yeah,
discover it also, and I need things to look at. So I need to look at different things so I can look into different things.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we all need each other.
That's right. That's right. This is the Aquarian age that we're in now. As we've gotten into the
Yeah.
age of Aquarius, it's all about this kind of this group collective consciousness that's
Mm-hmm.
assisting one another. We're all uplifting each other. It's not about, oh, like it's like, but it's kind of like we're focusing on growing ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
but as we're doing it, we're affecting the collective, in a
Right.
positive way. And there's tons of energy coming through right now. I mean, there's like Monday night here in Oregon, Monday night and a little bit into Tuesday, a couple days ago. Today's Thursday. There was so much. How I would describe it is looking up at the sky. When I was looking at the sky with my human eyes, it was almost like I was looking at um, like the etheric sky. It was
Mm,
weird. It was really interesting. It's almost like I was seeing the physical sky and etheric sky blended together. And
yeah.
they both look very similar, but it's like the like a layering effect. And
Mm-hmm.
I could literally see energy
Oh
coming
yeah.
down,
Yeah.
coming down, and when I was seeing it and feeling it and breathing it in, I can feel love vibration. I can
Oh
feel
yeah.
love frequency. It felt so good. And I was telling people around me, like, do you feel that? I mean, like, are you aware that there's this amazing energy to tap into? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone just like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're
Oh my
just
God.
totally crazy. And so I've learned to like now. So I'll just talk to the people who are like in the community with like the channel and stuff, because at least they kind of get stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I need to
Have
stop
you
talking to
noticed
other
that?
people.
Yeah. Have you noticed that we are so separated from each other? It's like we're put everywhere, but not with each other for people who are like-minded like we are. And I think this is done so that we can affect this group, this group,
Yeah,
that group,
that's correct.
because
That is.
there is no one really in my circle and my niece to a degree that I can even talk to. Here I am, I have this channel, I have all of this, whatever. And the people that I talk to are from different countries or different parts of the city. But there's
Isn't that
no one
cool?
here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I've got a lot of people so far from India and from Europe and
Mhm.
um, Japan, Australia. I think only half of the people who have actually subscribed to me so far are from the United States.
Yeah,
About half.
I don't even think half of mine are from the United States.
Wow,
Maybe about a fourth.
wow, that's wild. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah,
You need more domestic,
yeah.
engagement.
I'm
Because
like, I would love to start affecting all these people around me, but yeah, they're on a totally. I don't think with my mouth. I haven't been out talking to my little neighbors here, and they're all like, "Okay, Sonia."
oh man, I just wish you can be like my neighbor. That might get a little too intense if our properties were actually
We'll be floating
together.
out of our bodies.
Oh yeah, we'd
Oh,
be we'd
Jeremy,
be
get
up,
out of that chair. We're leaving.
we'd be uploading videos in the astral body, like that'd be
Yeah.
just craziness. But yeah, but again, you do bring out some topics and subjects and things that sometimes I don't talk about. I'll look forward to, like we were talking about the other platforms and
Mhm.
I want to open my mouth some more without being worried, about, like you said, getting strike. You have two strikes. I mean,
Yeah.
that's scary because then it affects your uploading schedule. You can't upload stuff.
Yeah,
You can't
I
get
had
stuff
videos
out.
I was getting ready to upload, and it's like, no, that's put on the back burner. I had been taken down for like a week and a half because I ended up with an ear infection.
Yeah,
Um, and so that stopped me from uploading and doing anything. I really was down for the count.
yeah.
And then the very next video I made was basically the one that got me in the next strike. And it's like, oh, I'm down for 2 more weeks now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's stressful though because I don't think people understand how much how hard it can be to get these videos out. You know,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
takes a lot of it takes energy. I think it's more of an energy thing. And
Mhm.
so I'm, being energy sensitive, obviously, like with all my people in my community so far, I honestly, it's like I feel them, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but you're feeling the positive and the negatives.
Oh, yeah. We get both. We get it all. The
I
good, the bad,
know
the
it's a
ugly.
big package that just comes right at you. And then, so what I'm learning now, the last couple months here, is that I have to even work really even harder on myself,
Wow.
to keep myself balanced and in check so that I can kind of go and through this growth process myself. Yeah. So yeah, I've never had, I mean, I only have 855 people so far, the last, half a year or whatever it's been, since I started the channel. But even just with that many, there's probably at least 100 of those that I feel even more,
Right.
and that's something I wasn't dealing with before, so it's a whole new ball game,
Yes, it
and
is.
I am enjoying it, because it's helping me become more of the embodiment of what I want to embody for myself and my own growth process through learning how to make adjustments, adjustments with myself to
Yeah.
deal with all of it. And also, it's also, hey, those one-on-ones, right?
Oh,
One-on-ones,
I
they
love
take
them. But
energy and,
yeah, I
and
loved
so,
my Skypes when I did my Skypes, but I just got so bombarded I couldn't do it anymore. And it's like, oh no.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I felt really bad because I would like to talk to each and every person. I
Yeah.
just don't have enough hours in the
Well,
day.
well,
And it got to be because once I start talking to somebody, we tend to have time just kind of go 2 hours, 3 hours. And
yes,
it's, oh no.
time dilates, the
Yeah.
dilation of time, I don't even know, I can't see any time. Oh, there it is, 30. Never mind. Sorry. I couldn't see on my screen. I was like, wait, how long has it been since we've been talking, But yeah, that it's energy. So like, yeah, so when I'm around some of my really good friends, and we're just playing darts or playing pool, or just talking, or maybe playing some music, playing some guitars or something, it's like 4 hours goes by,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
like, so time, which is a whole other topic within itself,
Hmm.
it's an illusion.
Yes, it is.
It's a perception,
It
you
is.
know.
It's a perception.
It's different every day, different every. So when people go to work and they're like, "Boy, today is just like really slow," or "Today, man, today went by quick." It's it's all just a perception of time,
Hmm.
you know.
I think it all comes down to one thing. Are you bored or are you not bored? When you're
Oh,
not, time is gone. When you
yeah,
are bored, doesn't it just drag by?
that's correct. And if you're bored too much, then that's not good either.
Hmm.
It's not good for a person's mental health to just
No,
be bored. That's
no.
why we have to be social. We have to have goals. We have to work towards things and stay busy with things and enjoy how to, how to love, and be in
Oh,
that
yeah.
frequency. And, and yeah, so I've noticed that some people who do get depressed and who have bad thoughts, it's just really about just getting out there and going for the hike,
Yeah.
going to the
Just so much
beach.
better once you just get up and move. Do
Yeah,
something.
do anything, do anything. That's right, that's right. Don't get couch
Get up
locked.
and move. Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Terrible.
but
I do notice though that our time isn't right either. I remember years ago, maybe 25, 30 years ago, you used to be able to count seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Try to do that today with the digital time. Your Mississippis are getting cut.
Yeah, well,
So
because it's
our
mhm,
physical time construct has
yeah,
actually changed
yeah,
also, which
yes,
actually messes with our circadian rhythm. You're
yes.
thinking you're getting 8 hours? No, you're not. No, you're not.
That's correct. No wonder we feel so sleepy, and tired
Yeah.
sometimes.
I mean, when you're going to bed at a certain time and you're getting up with an alarm clock, you're not naturally waking up, which means you didn't get your required hours.
Yes, your
And
body will
it
wake up
tends
on
to
its own. Yeah.
snowball, and it'll really drag you down and bring your immune system down on its knees.
Yes, yes, it's very true. Well, I mean, I think it's also quality of sleep too. So, I mean, even if, like, for me, I just sleep maybe 5 hours, maybe around there, but I feel like if it's quality sleep, and
Yeah.
if I don't wake up, during those 5 hours, then I feel pretty good, But if I just wake up one time,
Oh,
during that, then
then
yeah,
you
I get a
sleep
little tired.
stronger.
Yeah.
I think it kind of works like you start here and you go down and you hit your deep sleep and then you come back up and you have that possibility of waking up. And
Mm.
if you do this throughout the night on each supposed hour, because our time has really changed, um, there you go. And if you don't get enough those sleep circles in or cycles in, your body just doesn't have time to actually regenerate depending on what you've done to it. If
Yeah,
you're a
that
physical
yeah,
worker, you're going to need a lot more regeneration than somebody sitting behind a desk.
absolutely. Or someone who's, let's say, lives a sober lifestyle as opposed to somebody who drinks, excessive
Yeah.
amounts of alcohol or something.
Oh,
It's all a lot of different variables. I wanted to ask you a quick question that's been on my mind. So when you mentioned that you have I mean, as you described, amazing remote viewing ability. But more of my experience has been more on the just actually, shifting consciousness and
yeah.
integrating into these other bodies and, moving around these other bodies. Um, what I've found is I found that this pertains to the dome, and I know you've talked about the dome before, in your videos. And see, for me, it's almost like I see the dome. I've seen it and I've experienced it. I've actually gone up. I've flown up into the sky and actually pressed my energy hand or my my etheric body hand up against it,
Mm-hmm.
right? um, but for me, from my own experiences, of course, I'm not saying I know everything, but I just from my own perspective, the dome is actually in the etheric plane, or it's
Yes,
in
it
the
is.
4D. The
Yes, it
4D.
is.
It's
Yes, it is.
not. It's not. Yeah, it's not that it's in the physical plane. You know what I mean? So
It's
that's
in
what
a
I want to talk
dimensional
to you about.
plane. It is a dimensional dome. It
Yeah.
is in the etheric mostly. There is a bit of it in ours, but it's a bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, some of it is kind of like an ice, like toward the bottom, it's more ice. But as you go higher, it's more etheric. It's actually multidimensional. This is
Okay.
why you can't get out. Most
Okay.
people that go astral travel can't get past it. You have to know how to get out of it. I've gone out a couple of times, well, more than a couple, and it's black, black, and they say space, but it's water. It's water. It's like salted water. And it's no space like you could, it's not the CGI images. It's not the dome images like
Mm.
a planetarium. It's not like that at all.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to describe. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can it's more, well, I mean, basically what I was trying to say was it's like it's more visible to me, but
mm-hmm.
when I'm out of body, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah,
and
because you really have to be out of body to get out of the dome. You're not getting out of this dome unless you find portals inside here to go through, and then you're going to have the right key or vibration to go through them.
yeah.
Or they do have underground train systems, if you can call them trains. They're more like bullets.
Yeah.
where they go out. A lot of people that think they're out in space are
Yeah.
really out on the bigger reality.
Yeah.
A lot of these people, they've tricked. They're like, you can't see, we're going to take you, we're going to shoot you into space. No, you're literally getting on these little trains, these bullets, and you're going at 20, 30,000 miles an hour, whatever it is, a ridiculous amount of speed. And you're leaving our crater into the another part of the bigger Earth. They're telling you you're in outer space. You're on Mars. You're on Jupiter, but you're really on the bigger Earth. A lot of people that think that they're out doing all these space missions, no, they're on the bigger Earth. They don't even know. Well, some of them are getting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them know and they're getting it. But the biggest lie is that we went to the moon, that there's space, that there's the sun's millions and millions and billions of miles away. Lies. They're all lies. Our sun is tiny. It's in here. It isn't going around a round ball planet. That whole thing is a
Yeah, yeah.
lie.
It's kind of hard to fathom like when you read the science, like when you look at scientific documents about how the Earth spins at its speed, how it rotates, how fast it rotates around the sun, how fast we're just moving through space and through the galaxy, like so fast, and it's just like and then when you just sit here in your human body and you're out in your yard just looking out, and you're feeling the earth and the ground and just looking around, it's like it's almost like common sense.
Yeah.
That
So
you just observe. If you just observe your environment enough, and then you really start questioning that narrative that we've been fed.
I always think about this. So that means every time you get on a trampoline and you jump up, you should never be able to come back down on that trampoline because the Earth already moved.
Or a plane for that matter, So, a plane, going up 30, 40,000 feet in the air off of the surface. And so, yeah, if the Earth is spinning almost 1,000 miles per hour, and your plane is going like 500 miles an hour, and that plane's even going the opposite direction of the spin, or the same, you know what I mean?
You would be going backwards.
Yeah, so but yeah, it doesn't affect the flight time, right, or anything, So there's some common sense things to assess, Also, what I notice is like just with the constellations, like the North Star and the way you look at the sky, and it's like the sky, the perspective of space and the sky has been the same for decades and decades and like centuries and centuries. But but Earth is like flying through the galaxy like at 1,000,000 miles per hour or something, right? And it's always
but yet
the
that's
same.
always constant and always the same, and we can measure it by the precise movement. No, the whole thing is ridiculous. When they made up all these lies, they never thought anybody would question it, so they just kept on making it up and making it up. But now that we're having the awakening, which is like, wait a minute, what about this and what about that? This is the awakening, realizing and seeing through the multiple lies. NASA's a big one. Big fat liars.
Yeah, well, I definitely can agree with you. Yeah, we can't really believe everything that we're told,
I believe absolutely nothing we are told, because everything comes with an agenda to control you, and it's always about the Babylonian money system. Isn't that fun?
Well, it's the programming, the thing we talked about a few minutes ago, where we're just put into this reality construct, and this reality construct has its own set of programs, and then those programs then override our consciousness, and they have it designed so that we don't figure out that we're actually, like, the consciousness is actually a separate thing or a separate entity from the brain. And so once our consciousness is programmed, then everything around us becomes programmed, because consciousness is a creator being. So since they know that they can tap into that creator being ability, they're just taking advantage of it.
Well, they're telling us what they want created.
Yeah, so exactly. So we're being fed. We're being fed how to manifest our reality.
Mhm.
And
We're literally manifesting the realities for them. They're
yes,
telling us what they want, and we're doing it. We're complying, and that needs to end. Stop complying.
yes, correct. Yeah, that I think that's one of the biggest messages that I'm trying to express through Consciousness Awake through my channel. But I guess I'll, as time goes on, I'll grow and have more and more ability to how to communicate. Communicate that because not everyone is ready
No.
to I guess download this information
Yeah.
for themselves. And I think personally, one of the key things to evolving consciousness is to get people to have out of body experiences.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
The minute you get out of your body and you realize I am not that physical shell,
yeah,
everything changes.
there's
It's
nothing.
all
Yeah,
right.
there's no turning back. There's no turning
No,
back. And
no.
some people, of course, they'll have their first out of body experience. And let's say theoretically they were agnostic, or let's say they were atheist or something, and they had like a spontaneous out of body experience. Even that, just that one might not get them to question things, but then
Mhm.
it's like that second time maybe, or that
Mhm.
third time, and then they're like, oh, wait a minute, like let me dig deep into this and figure out what this is. And then and then a spiritual awakening process initiates.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think with my channel, yeah, I'd love to just get as many people as possible to experience what consciousness is, and
Yeah.
get and shifting away from the human body into these higher up dimensions in the 4D and the 5D, or the astral planes and all these kinds of things.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. For a while when I was younger, I was like, should I do that? I mean,
Yeah.
should I be showing people this stuff? But then as I have been going out of my body more and more and more over time, I've evolved my own personal thoughts on the matter. And I started to realize something. I've been talking about this in some of my videos, where the multiverse
Mhm.
actually needs a certain percentage of individual forms of consciousness wherever they are. They could be in another dimension, or they could be here in this reality we're in now, this Earth matrix, and but it needs uh, a certain amount of people to develop the ability and skill to learn how to create through their
Mhm.
consciousness, not
Mhm.
just here on Earth, but how to do it and utilize that a skill in the astral planes or in the mental planes.
Yeah.
So like right now, and I maybe I shouldn't talk about this, but I've already mentioned it a couple times before. But so you mentioned the porthole, making portholes through the dome, right?
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
go into these other dimensions and into the higher astral planes, etc.
Mhm.
So I've learned how to make my own porthole
Oh, cool.
in the etheric sky. So
Wow.
all I have to do is just pop out of my body into that very next layer out, which is the etheric body, which is easier than to get into the astral bodies. And most people who have out of body experience, actually, almost all the experiences are the etheric body. See,
Yeah.
that's the thing. People don't understand that with my channel. They don't get that there's these different bodies, that there's different ones. But most experiences are in the etheric for most people, and but going into that body and then to build the porthole in the etheric plane and then go through that porthole into the astral planes, is basically where my mic is where I'm at.
Mhm.
So I've chosen my I'm also like I'm here living here in this human body. I'm loving my daughters. I'm enjoying my life. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm not running away from anything.
No.
I'm enjoying it all and doing my best and learning. But at the same time, I am already, how would you say, evolving or figuring out my afterlife. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that's a decision I've made on my own, to where I just don't want to get into certain religious belief structures or certain types of organizations, or
Yeah.
or of some kind of group consciousness that's already preset in these other reality constructs on the mental planes. No, you can start your own reality construct in the mental planes if you know and understand that you can do it, and that
Yeah.
you understand how to do it. But you have to practice. I
Yeah.
mean, can't do it unless you can get out of body.
Yeah, we are creative beings, and we can create realities upon realities upon realities.
Yes.
We are all powerful source.
Yes.
Literally,
Yes.
there's nothing we can't do, but you've got to have the mindset to do something.
Yes, yes, and you have to practice it. It's
Yeah.
practice makes better. But
Yeah.
so I don't know what it is, but but the messages that I've received and the things that I've experienced while being in the astral planes, going through my own porthole, etc., etc., all signal to me that one of my missions, or I guess one of them, is to just help people understand, like, you can do that. You don't have to reincarnate. You don't have to be a part of some sort of religious belief structure, especially if you're not happy with it.
Yeah.
You can do that, but then again, it's not for everybody. But maybe that's just what I'm supposed to be doing. If I can just open up 1,000 people's consciousness to the idea that they can do that, I've just affected 1,000. I've helped the multiverse expand and lower its own entropy. So we have entropies here in our physical world, but there's also entropies that are on these other planes. And so as we have all these individual forms of consciousness all over the place, they all can't just evolve and move up to the same place. It's spreading, it's growing. It's part of the growth process. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. I know it sounds kind of wild, but people have to understand that it's like when you have these experiences, they just change the way you think.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it just
I'm always like, well, I can talk and talk and talk, but until you actually do the walk, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, exactly. And it's what's so cool too is there's people commenting on some of my videos, and they're telling me how they've had their first out of body experiences. There's several, actually a couple dozen people so far who've commented or emailed saying, I had my first experience, but they were able to recognize it quicker and sooner because they did watch a couple of my videos, and so they learned how to pick up on certain things. It's like when you first feel your etheric body popping out of your it's I mean, not popping out, it's floating. It's like it's floating like right on your human body, and it's kind of lifting up, it's levitating up. You kind of feel your hand or leg kind of flop up or something, and like you kind of think that it's your human leg, but then you realize that your body is like paralyzed and your human body is not moving, but your consciousness in that moment is now awake. Your consciousness is awake. And so then you can very easily just shift your awareness into that other body that you were sensing and feeling, that's lifting up. And then you just kind of roll out, or you just float up, or go through the roof, through the ceiling, do whatever you
The only
do.
thing I don't like is when you come down and you feel like you're slammed back into your
Yes. Believe me, I've gone in.
It's like, oh, softer landing.
Yes. I do agree with you. Sometimes, depending on what kind of out of body experience you had, because like there's been times where I've gotten myself in trouble. I've done things. I mean, especially when I was younger. I don't do stupid things while I'm out of body anymore. Okay, but I did do some stupid things when I was like a teenager. 20, and I've had some forced reintegrations into my human body where I was like forced by other beings.
Wow.
sometimes my spirit guides, like, you're going right back, and you're not gonna come out for at least a week. Like, and it's like I'm being punished or something. But I learned from, because there are certain rule sets that do exist in these planes. The laws and rules are not like they are here,
Mhm.
but there are things you can't do, and someone will let you know when you do something wrong. And I've also noticed that whenever I did something stupid or wrong, that my ability to get out of body is hindered for like a few weeks. It's almost like
Wow.
your vibrations. The
Yeah.
vibrational frequency is it's almost like they're kind of like altering
Yeah.
it or modifying it to kind of like make it more difficult. And so then I learned to just not do those mistakes, and it's almost like you're kind of like always gaining the trust
Oh,
the, the,
wow.
of the
I've never
multiverse.
had that. I must not be so heavily monitored.
Well, maybe
I,
you
I,
are now,
I,
though.
when I come back in and I'm not fully in, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm not fully in. Do you know what I'm talking about? And you're not fully in, and I have to go back to sleep to get fully integrated back into my body.
Yeah, you can't move. Yeah, you can't. Your
It's
hands, feet are
awful.
paralyzed. Yeah.
Everything is sluggish, and you're just
Mhm.
exhausted, like you haven't slept in a billion years. And
Yeah. Yeah.
the frequencies are so different. It's horrible. It's almost like a feeling of quicksand.
Yes. Yes, I know exactly. I've just had that, even if it's spontaneous, right, or accidentally, or whatever it was. But yeah, people, that's why it takes some time for people to really like grow with the art or skill of astral projection, because what comes with it is this learning process of all these different little sensations and situations, and how to navigate with certain things. And it's almost like you have to have like literally like 100 experiences before you can really. It's almost like a baby learning how to walk. You
Yeah.
know, like you're
Do you
trying to learn how to walk in these other bodies.
do you ever have this thing when you're out astral traveling? And I have this a lot. The closer I get to my body, it's like I'm being pulled into my body. And the second
Yeah.
I think of my body, bam, I'm slammed in. It's
Yeah,
really
that's what happens
weird.
even with out of bodies, or even with like lucid dreaming, where we're in a dream state in our subconscious mind, and we
Mm-hmm.
become lucid, for example, and which I consider like a form of astral projection, because you're still like, it's like your consciousness is just like waking up,
Mm-hmm.
and your awareness is waking up. Everything's there, but you're just in a dream state instead of an out of body state.
Right.
And so even with lucid dreaming or out of bodies, the moment you think about your human body, the moment you, like, when I get out, I try not to look at my body, because even if
Yeah.
I look at it, or if I hear my body, because, well, a lot of times I'll hear my human body breathing, like, so if it's just laying down, it's like in that automatic breathing rhythm, and I can
Mm-hmm.
hear it. It's loud, loud. It's kind of distracting sometimes. But if I listen to my own breathing as I'm leaving my body, like, that will pull me in.
Oh
So
yeah.
so in those cases, like, if it's one of those days where I have more ability to astrally project, and every day is different. If I get pulled back in, I just get right back out immediately. Because if I'm already in those phases, if I get pulled in, I automatically think I'm going to get out of body, like, right now. And I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of take advantage of the opportunity. And sometimes you get pulled in, like, ooh, my mic again. You get pulled in like 3 times. Like, I'll go back 3 times in a row over the course of just a minute. And then that third time, I'll finally just have the focus or whatever I need at that moment to actually get away and get out of the bedroom. I always tell people, whenever you are getting out of your body, if it's spontaneous or intentionally, that as long as you can just get through the bedroom door or fly out through the roof or anything, once you can do that, it will be amazing to how much more ability and concentration and focus and mobility and function of these other bodies, they really start increasing as you get further away from your human body. And another thing I want to talk to people about is that part of the ascension process is also practicing and being in these other bodies,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
you know, and learning how to operate them is very important. That's part of the ascension process within that multidimensional nature, of what we are.
Mhm.
So if people don't spend any time practicing and working out these other bodies, after their human body dies, or I call it malfunctions, when the human body
Yeah.
malfunctions, because we're
Mhm.
like self-replicating biological mechanisms,
Yeah.
robotic in a way.
Mhm.
But once it malfunctions, you better be prepared. You better understand how you can utilize what else you have, in this spectrum of this multidimensional nature we are. Because what happens is, from what I've noticed from seeing people die and leave their body permanently, what I notice is it's almost like uh, they get into the etheric plane, and then they don't know where they are. They're figuring that they think they're in a dream. They're confused. And then a lot of times there's certain bloodline beings that come in to
Yeah.
talk, guide that person in that situation, or try to explain what's happening. But what happens is that person's the life experience they had in the human body starts fading away like a dream, like a dream.
Yes, absolutely.
Fades away. So that's why we have to wake ourselves up. We have to wake up our soul, our consciousness, while we're in the human body, because that way, when this body malfunctions, you are ready to connect and to move over to these higher dimensions and to use these other bodies that you already have. So if you don't know you have these other bodies, you're not going to use them.
Right.
You're just going to get cycled into the system.
Yes. You'll
And
just be you'll be tricked and you'll be
yes,
reincarnated.
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know
So
exactly.
so that so there's more to this evolving consciousness thing, this ascension thing. There's a lot more going on here than just waking up and opening up your third eye while you're here in this reality. I mean, you want to get out of the matrix. If a person wants to get out of the matrix, I mean, honestly, of course, maybe not everyone would agree with me, but to me, the only way out is to learn about yourself.
Yeah.
Learn about these
Basically.
other dimensions and bodies you have. If you want to get out, you have to ascend through that yourself. But you have to practice. You have to
Yeah.
use these other bodies. And you said getting tricked, other entities and beings taking advantage of you. You better believe that certain entities or
And they
groups
yeah,
just,
they try to get you and get you quick because you're
and they
an
expect
eternal
that they
being.
know.
You've
They
existed
know.
forever. Yeah.
They know
And they're
when
like,
you know when
in
you're
a
not aware
moment.
of them.
Yeah.
When
It's
you're not
like
aware.
waking up in a moment, you're half groggy, you're half with it, you're not thinking straight, and bam, you're already reincarnated.
Yeah,
Because
they prey on that. That's why
yeah,
having fully conscious exits at physical death, um,
yeah,
and just going right into whatever plan you have for your afterlife. Now, a person, there's, from what I've noticed is that there's lots of different like heavenly places and higher up astrals, different reality constructs where different groups of
mhm,
people, different things that collective consciousness has made and made over the thousands of years, just over
uh-huh,
time. And so if you are, let's say, in a certain religious group and you're super happy with it, and you've put your your heart and your consciousness, your soul into that belief structure, um, yeah, it's a very good possibility that when you die, you're kind of already creating your afterlife. So you're resonating, that the vibrational frequency of your soul is then resonating with what you've already manifested, as even if it's into a group, like a
mhm,
group consciousness. But
mhm,
with me, though, I don't want to do that. I
mhm,
know I can make my own reality construct. So if I'm
mhm,
already there, that's where my mind is, right? Uh, how, how do I just not do that? How do I deviate away from that? And also I noticed too that when I was getting out of body as a teenager, before I really understood what was happening, oh yeah, there's all kinds of beings, good, bad intention. There's these critters, these astral parasites. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that as I learned what it was and I learned how to deal with it on my own, all this stuff, it doesn't get in my way anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. I'm on my own. I'm doing what I want to do. I mean, sure, there's a couple hiccups. There's
Mm-hmm.
a couple things that go wrong sometimes. I'm not perfect.
I know.
But
I know. Here, I'm always surrounded by the orbs, and they can be really tiny.
yes.
It's big, and all they are is energy beings in a different dimension. But
Yeah.
the only reason I'm seeing them is because basically I'm matching their frequency, and they're
Yeah.
allowing it.
But they're not trying to hinder you. You know what I mean?
No. Actually,
good thing.
you attract these beings because of the energy that you carry. They want to be around like beings. And it's not that they're there to do anything or to not do anything. They're just attracted to you. You're like a light in the dark.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've seen with your videos, especially since you have a lot of natural light, that kind of comes in, to your space where you do. I think where you do most of your videos is that sound room, sunroom.
It's the outside, inside, outdoor, indoor.
Oh, I can see. It's almost like I'm just watching your video, and I can almost see like silhouettes and things just kind of moving around and coming through. And I know, but I'm not gonna like comment like, oh, 4 minutes and 33 seconds in, there is another, maybe I should sometimes, but yeah, they are very attracted to you. And when I meet new people, like the people I subscribe to on YouTube, it's like I only subscribe to them if I feel that goodness. I feel it, and if I don't feel that good vibration, I don't. I don't, because it's almost like when I feel that it's good, then I'm like, it's like my consciousness saying, there's a few things that you can learn from this person, and maybe without that other person even realizing that you're learning them. It's an energetic learning, and it's really special to me. But then again, there's that consequence of, when you're that sensitive to that, you're around somebody who's, having a really bad day, or very negative and grumpy. It's like, whoa. So there's goods and bads, pros and cons with anything in this duality, that we live in. So we just have to learn how to balance everything. I wasn't sure how long you wanted to go.
John, you'll have to cut me off because I'll just sit and talk with you. Actually, you're doing all the talking. That's a change for me. I'm the one usually doing all the talking.
Well, no,
really nice.
And you can talk all you want. So yeah, I can sit there for hours and just and hear you talk.
So, yeah, I guess we'll have to end it because we're at, I think, an hour and 13 minutes, and that doesn't even include us talking before we started.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was well, anyways, I think that I am just so happy and grateful to spend this amazing positive time with you. And I'll be closely watching how you do the Odyssey stuff, and do that, and then again, learn from you with that too, and and then get myself to get into that kind of direction with things. And but yeah, and if you can, is it possible for me to get a copy of this video?
Yeah, I'll send you a copy. Actually, of course, I'm not going to send it to you. Arthur is.
Okay, and so he's actually gonna edit it.
Everything for me. I am so inept in the department of anything technological. So he'll do everything for me, even though he's in France.
Yeah. Well, I know
So
what you mean though by the technology stuff. I mean, I have a Facebook page, but I don't use that page. I don't have any social media. I have never had social media, and I'm in more of kind of that generation of MySpace kicked on, right, and then Facebook and all these different things and Instagrams and I don't have any of that. And people are always commenting like, are you in Facebook groups and
yeah,
Instagram,
I got
and
that
they're
too.
like,
I
you
know
have to do
Instagram,
that.
Facebook, I don't even know Twitter.
Yeah, I have never done any of that because like it's like my consciousness is like I don't want to entangle with
Mhm.
all of those things because the sad reality is yes, I love people who want to watch videos and stuff on the YouTube channel is great, but it's all for a positive thing. It's a
Mhm.
good investment of time, but it's like but all that excess waste of time with social media, especially for younger generations, etc., what it does is it even programs your consciousness even more.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I'm not spending all that time in cyber world either. No,
yeah,
I
I
happen to
agree.
like the physical world.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. You're very, very lucky that you've had that experience to where you can kind of get away from all of that stuff. And
Yeah.
because it does have negative impacts on, our ability to, expand our
Yeah.
perception,
But I know because the more time you spend in cyber time, the less time you spend on your time because
Yes.
cyber
Yep.
time likes to program you. So
Yep.
careful there.
I know. This has been an awesome, awesome, awesome
I
talk to
thank
you.
you very much for having this video with me, Jeremy.
Yeah, no, definitely, Sonia, and we'll talk more and maybe do some kind of video collaborations about certain things. Or what would be great is to talk about like another channel wants to do an interview next month, going into depth about the pineal gland, apology, and talking about that and how we can detox, cleanse, enhance the abilities of it. Because I personally feel that it's a critical component to how we actually download all of these non-physical experiences
Yeah, it's the
through,
doorway. It's the
yeah,
gate.
through
It's
and
one
then
of the
downloading it
gateways.
into your physical mind, into
Yeah,
your brain.
because you actually have this and you have this, and this heart is huge. Call it your second brain.
Yeah, the field of the energy of the heart, like the heart chakra.
Oh yeah,
Well, it's different for every individual, but I mean, it can be it can come out a lot,
yeah.
and a lot more than let's say another chakra. I mean, another energy vortex. And
Hmm.
so sometimes, yeah, we really feel people's heart chakras, you know,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
just at the store or whatever it may be, and then all of a sudden you have this incredible inclination to just like be like, wow, like what's up with that person?
You
Who is
remember
that?
the time to be able to shake people's hands? Not in this day and age, but do you
I
remember the time
know,
when you used to
right?
shake people's hands? Why
Yeah.
do you stop that? Because that was physical, direct downloads between
Yeah.
people.
Absolutely. I completely agree. There's many different ways that happens too.
Yeah.
Even through intimacy, people are also exchanging information, and
Mhm.
sometimes they have no idea. They have no clue. Um, and so yeah, there's a lot of science behind that. Those are the things that I want to dive deeper into also with my videos and all that kind of thing. But what I learned here is that I need to open my mouth more. I need to open it more. You know, I need to talk more about stuff and not
Yeah.
not worry as much about having like you
Want to
said
say,
the
yeah,
c word, the censorship. That
yeah,
c word. The other thing, yeah, that you have now we have there's a couple different c words
yeah.
that are but well, anyways, yeah, love your energy and thank you again for spending
And
time
thank
with
you,
me.
Jeremy.
Okay.
Okay, well, I guess I'll end this and I'll talk to you on another video because I really want to do another video with you.
Yeah, well, we should map out and really coordinate like what we really want to do, and then
Yeah,
just kind of.
we'll sit down and I'll think of something, you'll think of something, we'll get it together, we'll hash it over on the WhatsApp, and then we'll dive deep on that.
Okay. All right. This is amazing. Thank you
Okay.
so much. All
Bye,
right.
Jerry.
Talk to you later.
Now if I can turn it off.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I know.
Okay.
But now I
Bye.
have Skype on my computer, so.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.